Hey, welcome to Couples Drive, where married couples share their stories from when they met, courted, got married, and beyond. I'm your host, Atuboyen. Today we continue with part 2 of my ride with Nana and Jonathan. Take a look.
It is different. It's not at all what you expected.
I saw her in a different light
Okay.
than I've seen her before.
Like we'd hang out with his sister and his cousin.
Mutual friends.
Yeah.
That, and I get really hot at night, so like cuddling.
So is that something you would say is a kind of language, love language that you have to pay attention to?
Yes. You really have to take the time to find out your spouse's love language. But not just find it out, then take action and do something about it. When you're learning about each other, you don't just learn just for the sake of learning.
Right.
You have to put the action to it. So I know he doesn't like his fufu soft. So when next time I make the fufu, I go and make it soft again because I like it soft?
Right.
No.
Is she a good cook, John?
Oh my goodness.
Really?
Is she a good cook? Oh my God. God has blessed me.
Oh, really?
Because not only is she a good traditional cook when it comes to Ghanaian food. Remember, I was telling you, I come from a different culture.
Right.
So she spent the time and met with my mother to learn one of my favorite dishes, which is called di jonjon. It's the equivalent to wache.
Ghanaian wache.
Yeah.
Oh.
So she learned how to make that dish.
Just for you?
For me, yeah.
Nana. For the ladies. Now, okay, you are Haitian. Nana is Ghanaian. Are there any cultural differences that you had to adjust to while you guys were courting, or even now that you are married?
Yes, for sure. It's funny because it's these little things. For example, in my culture, as a sign of respect to your elders, you always kiss the women on the cheek and you give men handshakes. And that's something, if you don't do it, it's like, oh my gosh, you're so disrespectful. You're the worst, and they'll make sure to tell your parents, oh, and I saw your son Jonathan, and he didn't come to kiss me. He didn't say hello properly, blah, blah, blah. You know, so it was literally beat into you as a kid to always kiss your elders, you know, and give the men handshakes. So coming to meet, you know, Ghanaian elders, and I'm coming to say hello the way I'm used to. I know you gotta come say hello, gotta kiss the woman on the cheek, and they're looking at me like I have 10 heads. Like, what are you doing? What is this? No, what is this? And Nana had to explain to me later on, like, no, you don't do that.
You're getting too close.
Yeah, you are. Listen, you don't do that. It was so awkward, and it made things awkward for me because I can't help it. I want to do that, and it had to unlearn.
So it's kind of so ingrained in you that
because when we're back around my side of the family, my church elders have to do it. You know, so almost every day we're doing it. We're doing it, going back and forth. The other thing is making eye contact. You know, in the American culture, you're supposed to make eye contact with a person. But in the Ghanaian culture, I learned the hard way that, you know, especially when it comes to women, you're not supposed to be making eye contact with a woman for too long, or that can be perceived the wrong way. Well, I didn't know that. So at one time, I was having a conversation with a friend of the family
my sister.
on Nana's side. I'm talking, and I know her. We met. We talk all the time. I'm like, "Hey, how you doing?" We're having a conversation, and she wouldn't look at me. And I'm like, "How does my breath stink? What happened?" So later on, I asked Nana. I was like, "Nana, why didn't so and so not? She's not looking at me when I'm talking. I was talking to her, we're having a good conversation. We know each other. What was going on with that?" And she's explaining to me, you know, no, you don't do that in the Ghanaian culture. you know, and it's these little things that we help each other out with to keep us out of trouble, you know, like, hey, don't do this. Like, we were just eating at Papaya, right? And the last time we ate at Papaya, she was explaining that you don't eat with your left hand.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't, what does that mean?
And I was so shocked because I thought it was the same in his culture. Like, even when you greet people, you're not supposed to greet people with your left hand. And I explained to him why, the reason why we're very dominant about the right hand. And he looks at me like, this doesn't even make sense. I'm like, I know you may not get it because you're not part of the culture. You didn't grow up with that ingrained in you. So you may not understand it, but that's just our thing. You can't.
Yeah.
And Nana, did you have anything, or have you experienced any cultural differences?
The kissing thing did take some getting used to the point that when I did get used to it, I had to remind myself not to do it when I'm back at my church, because people will look at you like, what are you doing? I'm trying to think, was there anything that I had to... Yes. In their culture, it's like the older people, they kind of do everything.
What do you mean?
Like, in the Ghanaian culture, when you get to a certain age, like, you're past adulthood, you know, you're working now. So it's like you basically help your parents a lot. It's less your parents doing the maid work, and you're mainly contributing, whether it's to the housework, whether it's to cooking, whether it's to cleaning, whether it's paying bills. In the Haitian culture, it's very different. The parents are still very much in charge, regardless of how old you are.
Oh, really?
So you could be like 40, and if your parents are still alive, when you go to your parents' house, your mom is still the one serving you. Your dad is still the one, you know, that does the driving and parking of the cars. It's very... That took me aback. And there was one time that I had to explain to his mom, like, Mommy, don't get offended that sometimes, like, if I'm cooking and you come over, like, I don't want you around. It's not because I don't respect you or I don't like you. It's because in my culture, I'm supposed to be doing that for you. Like, you can't be there and you're doing the cooking for me and I'm just sitting. I can't do that. That's not the way I was raised.
It doesn't help that my mom is very hands-on anyway in the kitchen and stuff. So.
Yes. So that took some getting used to. And it's not like his parents thing. It's literally the Haitian culture where the adults, we call them Gwamun. The Gwamun are still in charge, even though they're grown young people that are very capable of doing it. They're still like, no, you sit down, we'll take care of it. And I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah, and if they do tell you to get involved, there's a very specific
way. You gotta do it the way they tell you. If you deviate any little bit such way,
you're gonna get a lecture. Yeah.
What do you think are some of the things that as a couple you should do or you must do to ensure that your marriage is secured?
Two things I want to mention, and then I'll let John say the rest. First one, continue to pray.
Okay.
Do not allow your prayer life to dwindle, because I'm telling you, even in the most minute of arguments, if you allow the enemy to gain a foothold in your marriage, it's a wrap. So do not allow your prayer life to dwindle. Even if it means dedicating this specific time, putting it in your calendar, putting it in both of your phones to remind each other, hey, at this time on this day, we're coming together and we're praying. You have to be deliberate about that, because the enemy is so against marriage, a fruitful marriage that glorifies God. So if you started out that way, he's working overtime to mess y'all up. So prayer.
Okay.
You have to maintain a prayerful life as a couple and individually. Number 2, you gotta do the Echad.
You gotta do the what?
Echad.
What is that?
That's your homework. You have to go look it up. Echad.
Okay.
ECHAD. It's not just sex. It's intimacy, like true intimacy. Like, it may sound like trivial, but like things like foreplay is not just okay, I touch you here, I touch you there. No, there's a connection that is happening, that is going on all throughout that. And when you come together to culminate that in the lovemaking, it's different. It's not just sex. So that you have to maintain that. Even because in the times where you're angry with each other and you come back together, it continues to solidify you together.
Okay.
To make you, each of you, one.
It fills in those cracks.
Echad. E-H-E-C-H-A-D.
Yes.
It's
Okay.
a Hebrew word.
It's a Hebrew word.
Yes.
Did you guys learn Hebrew during your courtship?
I research.
Ah, okay.
Yes.
I see.
Yeah.
Well, Nana Yaa means business.
All
Alright, John.
Well, a couple of things I like to add. I totally agree that you need to be intimate with one another. And remember that there was one time a courtship. You did things during your courtship that got you guys close. You had a good time. Continue to do that.
Yeah.
Have date night.
Yes.
Have those times where whatever you did while you're courting, continue to court. To keep that spice. You know, so continue to court is one of the things that I believe that you should do. The other thing that I believe is very important, I know we have friends and family members that we trust and love and confide in, but it's now the two of you.
Okay.
If you are going to involve a third party, first involve God. Allow God to give you an answer on how to work out this situation. If you're having trouble maybe communicating a problem you're having with your spouse and that sort of thing, pray to God and ask for guidance. And if his solution is to send someone to you, fine.
And do you mean during the stage of marriage or pre-marriage?
Both.
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 Okay.
Even with premarital.
Yeah, you need
Premarital counseling is like...
No, I'm talking about
In the
go
first-
to God in the first
Yes,
time
yes.
before you even approach your friends or anything. And I was actually trying to make a connection between
Even before
marriage.
Yes,
And, okay.
yes, you should do that. You should, because, I mean, let's face it. Everybody has their own opinions. Everybody has their own understandings of things. They may not see the person you're courting the way you see them or the way you know them. So they may offer you advice that may not necessarily have to do with the type of relationship you have
You were
with that
in,
person.
right. Okay.
So the best person that knows both of you inside and out and knows all the inner workings of your relationship, the only person that knows that is God.
Okay.
So if you're trying to find out something like, oh, how do I do this? Or what's the best way to go about that? The best person to ask and confide in and seek advice of is God.
Right. Yeah. To continue with what Nana was actually transitioning to, and I completely agree, is before getting married, there's a couple of things you must do, because listen, it's till death parts us. Okay,
Right.
so we do not believe in divorce. If you're a true Christian, you're a true man and woman of God, you're not going to get married based on emotion. You're not going to get, oh, this person is so cute. Listen, those things will fade. But one thing will remain the same, and that's God. God is who, He was here before we were born.
Constant.
He's the constant. So you need to make sure that you invite God first and foremost. Because a lot of advice people give, they sound really good. They sound amazing. Oh, you should do this. You know, in the world, they say that before you get married, you're supposed to live together.
And see how it goes.
And see how it goes.
That's
See
not
if
the
it
word
makes
of God.
sense. And people were shocked to hear that we didn't live together before we got married. And now we're living together. It's like, wait, well, how do you know that you're gonna be into that person sexually? Well, God will help us figure that out when we get married.
And we figured it out.
What?
You did, huh? No, I can see you did.
But these are the things, these are the advices that unfortunately people are going to give you that aren't based on the Word of God. We had marriage counseling from both our pastors, and they gave us specific Bible verses that we can go read ourselves to get an answer, true definitions of what it is to be the head of the household.
Okay.
Things that we think in our own minds that it doesn't say anywhere does not say anywhere in the Word of God that because I'm the head that she's my slave. She is not my slave, you know, and that that all she's going to be doing is, and she's a wonderful cook, but that's not all she's going to be doing. Cooking, cleaning, doesn't say that in the Word of God. So those true definitions and what her role is, you know, there are specific things. The fact that the Word says that she is supposed to submit to me, but it also continues to say submit one to another. You know, so these are the things that you got to know.
If there's one thing that, or one behavior, attitude, lifestyle that you had before getting married that you found out, this is not really going to help my marriage, I have to let it go, what would that be?
It would be the way I speak.
The way you speak, how do you mean?
I found out from him
Okay.
that...
He told you? Or?
Yes, he told me. We had a conversation about this.
Okay.
That sometimes the way I speak can be very condescending and disrespectful. And him realizing this also, but me really paying attention to myself, it's part of our culture, the Ghanaian culture. When we speak, sometimes we're very strong and brash, a little bit in your face. And I realized that as he is my husband, as he is my head, there's a certain way I have to speak to him. Not necessarily because I want something. No, just in day-to-day communication. If I would like for him to do something for me or for the house, for instance, I can't order him to do it or make it sound as if I'm ordering him. And I had to...
How did you take it in the first place? How did you take that
correction? The first time he said it, I was irritated. Because I'm like, bruh. Like, what are you even talking about? So it had to be a constant... Like, he would bring it up again. And then I really started paying attention to the way I was talking. And then I realized, oh, okay, I see what he means. Because, okay, for me... I was raised with my dad's part of the family. My dad's part of the family, we're Kwapim. So we're known as the quote-unquote respectful tribe. So when he would say things like that, I was like, what are you even talking about?
We're the
like,
most respectful people.
Because even when we're insulting you, we insult you in this most nicest way, quote-unquote. But I did realize there were certain things that I was saying to him that it sounded very strong.
But in your opinion, didn't really...
Yes, until I made the subconscious effort to pay attention to the way my voice inflections were, how it was sounding, the way the message was being delivered, I had no idea. So then until I made myself aware, that was then when I was able to make that change. Like, okay, you gotta... Also, you have to go, a little at a time.
John, what do you think yours will be?
I don't want to say listening more, but basically, I am very opinionated in the sense that, okay, we're bringing up a subject that we want to talk, and a lot of the times I'll do the majority of the talking and kind of just bulldoze over her and don't give her a chance to really speak. So that's one of the things that I had to, and it's the same thing. It's something that you have to unlearn, you know, because you've been doing it for so long, you don't even realize that you do it. And then when the person is telling you, and I felt the same way, I was like, what are you talking about? I listen to everybody, you know, and no. I would talk, and then at the end of the conversation, I'm done. I'm good. I'm all right. See you later. And it's not like that. It's okay. And she was always very good about, okay, let him talk, and then once he's done, he's gonna let me talk. But I wouldn't, basically. And she used to have to tell me, hey, what about me? When do I get to say what I have to say? I let you talk all this time. Now it's my turn to talk. So learning to, okay, John, now it's your turn to listen and really actively listen. Don't listen to have a rebuttal or listen to give a response based on what you heard. No, actually listen, take in what the person is saying, and learn from them, because that's what's gonna help you as well as God is the person. How can I be better in my relationship with my wife if I don't listen to my wife? You know, and her listen to her husband. You know, and it goes both ways. So that's the biggest thing I've had to learn is like, listen.
Hey, welcome back, and thank you for sticking around. That was part 2 of my ride with Nana Yaa and Jonathan. And I hope you learned something from their journey and their story, and maybe you can use that for your own relationship. Please subscribe to our pages on the Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook so that you'll be notified once new videos are posted. Thank you for sticking around, and I'll see you next time. God bless.